buoyancy is, you can say, a physics term. So when you, like when water body is less viscous, okay, like water itself, okay, water itself, clear? So when you try to put ball inside, okay, I am talking about ball, okay, plastic ball, okay, when you put plastic ball inside or put a pressure over it, ball will come outside, okay, ball will come outside, okay. So ultimately if you, if you press hardly, so ball will come hard, okay, ball will jump, okay. But when it comes to more viscous, means like eutrophication, that green color algae is there, okay, so green water, so there when you put it or put a pressure, then ball will go down, so it means like buoyancy only. So here, like, yes, yes. So when we talk about buoyancy, we are talking about whenever there is change in GDP, or you can say whenever there is 1% change in GST. So you can understand in this way, whenever there is 1% change in GDP, so what is the impact? What is the impact of this 1% change in GDP in tax collection? So we can say tax buoyancy talks about relationship between GDP and tax collection. So whenever there is 1% change in GDP, so what is the change in tax collection? So we can understand in this way. For example, if you see USA, so in USA, whenever there is 1% change in GDP, 1% change in GDP, मतलब GDP 1% बढ़ रही है, तो last year 100 GDP थी, now this year 100, you can say 1% increase is there, so it means 101, okay. So you will see that the change in tax collection will be, for example, 3%, okay, okay. So change in tax collection will be around 3%, okay. Whereas in India, if you see, whenever there is change in GDP, the change in tax collection is 1% only. Okay, you can understand in this way. Again, I am giving you one example. Assume, assume that GDP of two countries are same. So I am just taking one hypothetical example. Assume that GDP of two countries are same, and for example, it is 100. So yesterday I told you what GDP means. That is the final goods and services, or you can say this much worth of final goods and services are produced. Okay. Now assume that when this is the GDP, so again we assume that tax collection of both the countries is same. So again I am just making hypothetical case, although this is a hypothetical one. So assume that GDP of two countries same 100, and the GDP or tax collection is, for example, 10 rupees. Okay, now what we have seen, when GDP changed by 1%, so in one country we have seen that the new GDP is 101. So we have seen that tax collection, okay, tax collection in this country has increased, okay, the tax collection in this country has increased by 10 percentage. So ultimately the new tax collection is, for example, 11 rupees. So can we say that the tax collection has increased by, tax collection has increased by 10%, okay, increased by 10%, because 10% of 10 is 1 only, okay. Whereas in this country, so this is case 1, whereas in this, okay, whereas in this, when your GDP has increased by 101, so we have seen that tax collection, okay, tax collection is 10.5%, okay, 10.5%. So can we say that when it is 10.5%, okay, so it means tax collection has increased by 5% only, okay. So the new tax collection is increased by 5% only. So which Which is a good case? Case 1 or case 2? Tell me, which is the good one? Case 1 or case 2? Okay, the case 1 is good. So can we say that this is more buoyant? Okay, so this case 1 or country 1 is more tax buoyant. More tax buoyant, and why it is more tax buoyant? Because this country has more organized economy as compared to case 2. Okay, because this country has more organized economy as compared to case 2. So ultimately, if your economy is organized, means formal economy, okay, means every economic activity is registered. So you will see that whenever there is change in GDP, the tax collection will also increase will increase with good growth rate. Okay, whereas whenever your economy is informal, so GDP has increased but tax collection has not increased. So it means in this economy there are cases of tax evasion. Okay, there are cases of tax evasion. Clear? Clear? So ultimately this is tax buoyancy. Okay, this is tax buoyancy. Clear? Tax to GDP ratio does not talk about tax buoyancy. Tax to GDP ratio is just telling you that how much tax we are collecting as per our GDP. So if you see right now our tax to GDP ratio is in the range of 11 to 12%. Okay, so right now our tax to GDP ratio. Okay, so if you see that tax to GDP ratio, if I talk about tax to GDP ratio, so right now tax to GDP ratio is in the range of 11 to 12%. So this is the current thing. Okay, so tax to GDP ratio does not talk about tax buoyancy. Okay, tax buoyancy. So if you see in both the cases there will be some tax to GDP ratio. Okay, but it does not talk about tax buoyancy. So in tax buoyancy our purpose is to see that whenever there is a percentage change in GDP, how much tax collection, okay, is increased. Okay, is increased. तो आपको एक थोड़ा सा आइडिया हो जाता है कि if my tax buoyancy is there, okay, so it means like in India we have seen that right now tax buoyancy is in the range of 2 to 3%. Okay, right now in India tax buoyancy in the range of 2 to 3%. Okay, so it means what? That whenever we change 1%, okay, whenever there is change in 1% change in GDP, okay, so whatever tax collection we have earlier, it will also get increased by this much percentage. This is what tax buoyancy says. Clear? Okay, this is what tax buoyancy says. Now similarly there is tax elasticity. So if you see tax elasticity talks about that whenever tax rates are changed, okay, whenever tax rates are changed, so with this change in tax rate, what will be the change in tax collection? Okay, so for example, right now, okay, right now, like when you go to McDonald's, so you pay 5% GST. Okay, you pay how much? That is 5% GST. Now if suppose government decided to increase GST over, you can say whatever you eat in outside, that is cafes, so they decided to increase it and make it 12%. So ultimately what you will see, that people will stop consuming the food from outside, or the people will consume but they will have a setting with the, you can say, restaurant, that you don't take money in cash or you don't take money online. Okay, you take money in cash. So means there will be more tax evasion. So whenever tax evasion is also there, so that is responsible for less receipt collection or less tax revenue collection on the part of government. Okay, on the part of government. So this is what you have to understood, that whenever tax rates are changed, change in tax collection, that when we are measuring that, that is known as tax elasticity. Clear? Now if you have understood this thing, so there is Laffer curve. Laffer curve, which also talks about the relationship between, which also talks about the relationship between tax rate and tax collection. So ultimately the relationship is like this. Okay, the relationship is like this, which says this thing. So on x-axis, okay, on x-axis there are, you can say, tax rate. Okay, on y-axis there is tax collection. Okay, so if you will see that if tax is 1%, then 2%, then 3%, 4%, 5%, 6, 7, 8. So whatever they say, it says like this, ki in every economy there is some tax rate which citizens are ready to pay. Okay, and that tax rate, you will find that maximum tax collection will be there. Okay, so ultimately this is the thing. Okay, this is the thing. So maximum tax collection will be there. So if you see that this, the rate, or you can say there will be a tax rate which citizens are ready to pay, okay, without evading it. So ultimately if you reduce less than that, so you will see that tax collection is reducing. Okay, so you can see this, the tax collection is reducing. But similarly, if you increase, so you will see that tax collection will also reduce. Okay, tax collection will also reduce. So this is what you have to understand. Okay, this is what also you have to understand. Okay, now you know, I told, I hope this is clear to you. Laffer curve talks about relationship between tax rate and tax collection. Clear?